Hey, how's it going, movie lovers? Welcome back to another episode of Not Your Everyday Critics. I'm your host, George Lugo.
And I'm Manny Rivera.
And if you've never seen the show before, what we do is rate, review, and critique movies of all budgets, genres, and types.
It don't work, but you get the idea.
I'm sure you guys see what's going on here.
Partying it up, big old thing right here. Hats going on, balloons everywhere.
This is our
100th
1 year episode.
100th year,
100
years,
Rick and
Morty.
Suck it down.
Oh, we're
Suck it down. Suck
Oh yeah. Just so you know,
Oh, yeah.
spoiler alert.
And the movie we are reviewing today is
29 years old.
Demolition Man.
Demolition Man. Let me introduce our guest.
What a dick.
We have Daniel.
Yeah, what's up?
Daniel the
What's up?
Manual.
And we got
The man.
Sir David Raby making drinks.
Hello.
Yep, we got our bartender.
He's punching my dick.
So, really quick, Manny, because this is Manny's favorite action comedy movie. Yeah. Why is this your favorite action comedy movie?
I've always been a fan of Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes, and to see them in a movie together that way, it was actually spectacular because this movie is not just an action movie; it's funny too.
It sure is.
Leads you into the whole sci-fi freaking whole thing. What predicts in the future? And there's a couple things inside of there where that kind of stuff actually happens. So
Like Taco Bell.
it's actually like Taco Bell, which
Or
is pretty
Pizza
cool.
Hut.
Yeah.
So it's highly entertaining. It's fantastic. It's awesome. I just love
On
it.
them all out. I guess you're right. We should have brought the tank up.
We should
Oh, you were.
Just have the tank on the table. Just
Yeah,
Passing it around.
it's okay.
Yeah, it's all good.
Can we introduce David's drink for tonight?
Let's fucking do it.
yeah.
David,
Get
what
the
do we got
theme?
here?
This recipe I got online specifically for Demolition Man was Mountain Dew's Baja Blast.
Hell,
That is
yeah.
obviously featured in at Taco Bell. It kind of got lost its color, but either way, it's a good drink. I made it work. I think it looks pretty good.
Cheers.
Actually,
Cheers,
it looks
boys.
Pretty cool.
Salud.
Cheers.
Yeah.
David, clink, clink,
Clink, clink.
Clink.
Start us off, Manny.
1993.
Okay, so the movie begins where the movie.
You don't have to give us the intro. Let's just bring something up.
What's interesting about
Spoiler
the
alert,
beginning of the movie
people.
is when you guys see the movie and you see the Hollywood sign on fire, and then you start to see like the police cop cars going into the whole the building where that's on fire and they're shooting and everything like that.
Talking to the mic.
That was actually the last scene of the entire movie.
The last one they shot.
The last one they shot because
That's how movies work.
the interesting thing was they actually wanted to open up the movie with Sylvester Stallone being thawed out from the cryo chamber, but the director thought something was missing out first, and so at the end of the whole thing of shooting, he decided to do that part at the end and put it into the beginning of the movie, which I thought that was actually pretty cool.
That's how movies are shot, though. They're not shot.
They're
They're not shot in order. There's no movie that's ever been shot in order.
He wasn't going to do it in the first place. He was actually just going to have Sylvester Stallone in the beginning of the movie get thawed out.
Oh, you just want to
cryo,
start the whole thing cryo?
Yep.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's exactly how we did it. So
What a
he
loser.
thought something was missing from the beginning of the movie, and that's what he did. He did
He
that.
forgot his whole intro was missing.
That's, that's exactly
We got
how
the
he
middle,
was
we got
going to
the
do
end.
it. But
Intro,
he felt like he needed something else in the beginning, so he shot that and put that
100%.
in the beginning. And I thought that was actually pretty cool. That
Okay.
because it made the entrance a lot more exciting.
Okay.
So
For sure. That's an interesting piece of information.
yeah.
Give me another one.
I would love to. The original cast wasn't even supposed to be the original cast. The one that plays
Ooh,
Huxley
let me
was
guess. No, I don't know.
okay. So Sandra Bullock that plays Huxley wasn't even the first person that they thought to play Huxley. It was actually going to be what's her face, Tank Girl.
Oh.
Yeah.
So she was actually, and she actually filmed a
I
couple.
thought
of
also
scenes.
Patricia Arquette was supposed to play
Patricia
her.
Arquette was a thought also, but she didn't make. She didn't do any scenes. Actually, Tank Girl actually did some scenes, but the director didn't
Really?
see it working out. Yeah, she actually did a couple of scenes, and apparently he didn't like the way it was working out, and so
She wasn't putting out.
I don't know, but the next
was putting
person
out the
up they
vibe.
considered was Sandra Bullock, and he liked how she knew everything off the bat, and that's where
I mean, Sandra Bullock's pretty fucking hot.
yeah,
She is.
I mean,
I don't care how
And
old she is.
especially in that movie,
Yeah.
with the haircut and everything. How
Yeah.
cute
The
she is.
virtual
Still looks
sex.
great.
I'd have virtual sex with her. I thought you wanted to make love.
You know what? That freaking that thing where they
No,
do
we're still
the-
talking about the cast. So I know
Oh,
I know
okay.
for a fact that Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes weren't the first pick.
They
So the
were
first
not-
pick was supposed to be Jean-Claude Van Damme and Steven Seagal. So, but the thing
Who's going
is,
to be the bad guy?
that's the thing. Neither one of them wanted to be the bad guy. They both wanted to be the good guy.
That's weird.
And so they opted for Sylvester Stallone, and they still didn't pick the bad guy. But they wanted they asked Jackie Chan to play the bad guy, but he didn't want to play a
Please,
villain
I don't want no trouble.
because also he didn't. Well, he didn't want the public to associate the villain with someone who's Chinese,
Also,
especially since it was like in the early '90s.
yeah, and
You don't want them to
he's-
be like
when
that
he's-
Chinese guy's a villain.
He still is a hero. Thank you, Jackie Chan.
Let's talk about the wardrobe for this shit. How, like, let's look at the police officer, like the uniform. How not functional it is for an actual uniform for a police officer.
Well, that's because they never had a fucking problem ever in their goddamn lives. That's why it's such a suit and everything like that
It's
that they don't
literally-
freaking do. The only
It
ones
looks
that
like
I
a
can
jockey uniform.
The only ones that I can actually believe that are doing anything are the ones where the cops were at the booth with Wesley Snipes when they were
The
telling
ones
him
that
to get
work in the
down and
cryo
everything like that.
prison.
Well,
Yeah.
no. Well, I mean, were those the ones that worked with the cryo prison? Because it seems like they were just in regular cop cars coming in where Wesley Snipes was at that booth doing the whole computer thing.
Oh
Those guys, they were
Those are-
actually in like,
no, they were in the same outfits as the same shit that Sylvester Stallone and Huxley were wearing.
no, they were in actual jackets, dude. They were
They-
in
yeah.
actual like,
So does Huxley
no,
has
no,
a
not
jacket.
suit, an actual like fucking like a cop jacket or whatever it was. So
Yeah, Huxley was wearing one too. They all had like the bomber style jacket.
the bomber style jacket.
Yeah.
Oh, those
But-
cop jackets?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, they were definitely not prepared for any kind of physical.
Well, yeah, because I think
activity or
they were
anything like
saying the last murder happened in 2010, and they were in 2032.
2010 was supposed to be some great earthquake. That's where his wife died.
Yeah, but there was also the last recorded murder was in that same year
Damn.
that they mentioned that in the thing because they have like the code 187 pops up when Phoenix kills the guys.
7 on a
When
motherfucking
Phoenix
cop.
kills the police officers at the cryo prison, and they're like, "What's the code 187?"
What's MDK? Yeah.
that. Never heard of it ever in their lives.
Calling
Like, what the hell
187
is
on a
that?
motherfucking
Armed
cop.
robbery. Oh, a shooty steely.
And I find it so funny too that Rob Schneider, as he's watching Phoenix kick,
Oh yeah,
kick the freaking
we're police officers. We're not trained to
we're not
handle this
trained
kind of
handle this-
violence.
Exactly. It's so fucking funny. And I thought I was like, oh man,
I loved
That
Rob
was-
Schneider
Rob
during
Schneider's
that
the
whole
best,
90s
dude.
period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Rob Schneider's the fucking
he's
best.
freaking hilarious. I'm
Like
actually
when
happy that
he
they
answers
have him in there.
the emergency line, and he's like all calm. He's like, "Thank you for calling the San Angeles Police Department."
Greetings and salutations is what he says. Greetings and salutations. And thank you for calling whatever the SFPD or whatever.
I mean, let's talk about Simon Phoenix's wardrobe. So I mean, he took those clothes from somewhere, right?
exactly.
Who the hell was wearing those clothes? Because the rest of the clothes in the whole thing, they're all like Japanese style kimono unisex.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Like
where did he get the
I had a
overalls?
problem with that
and the
because
shirt?
I have no idea where he grabbed those. Like,
And it's not like he didn't go down the sewers yet, so he wasn't messing with the
he's-
scraps.
And, if you can remember, after he went down into the sewer, he came back with like tire.
Yeah, he had a cool ass outfit
like
after
a
that.
fucking, like legit freaking.
This is my kind
weird
of thread.
thing. Yeah,
it was very
exactly.
Fifth Element
The
though.
cyberpunk.
It was
yeah.
very Fifth Element
it was,
though.
It was pretty
Yeah.
cool, but I mean, yeah, it was. I don't know where he pulled that off. I don't know where that wardrobe came from because everybody's got this.
He also hated
going on.
he hated the haircut and the hair dye that he had.
I
And
think
the
it
second that
looked
they
pretty
stopped filming, like after production was done, buzzed it all off.
Shit.
Yeah, he did actually.
Wesley, we need you for reshoots tomorrow.
Dennis
He's like, son of a
Rodman.
bitch.
Dennis Rodman, when he entered the Spurs, he actually did that to his hair to, I guess commemorate.
To honor Wesley Snipes
to honor
from
Wesley Snipes
in Demolition Man.
in Demolition Man, and Wesley Snipes did not like his hair, so he shaved that
What
shit.
is
at
wrong
the
with you?
end of it? So yeah,
Yeah, like he's had
Did
his
you guys
hair
watch
every
this
color.
movie in the theaters when you were young
I
when
did.
it came out?
Did they have theaters?
I
watched it.
actually did not get a chance
I
to
did.
watch this in theaters.
Drive-through?
No?
That's the only shitty
Drive
part
in,
about
David.
it.
Whatever.
I didn't get a chance. I always wanted to see it in theaters. Never got a chance to watch it in theaters.
Well, we just gotta wait till it shows up at Frida,
Yeah.
and we'll go.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I'm gonna wait for that kind of shit, but I definitely want to experience it.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it once.
I remember watching it as a kid. Yeah, and
I definitely should not have.
I was under parental guidance.
Yeah,
so
my dad was there, but like
yeah.
still like, you know.
I
shouldn't
remember.
have.
I remember the virtual sex scene. My mom actually getting all worked up. Is like, Dan, you can't watch this.
Yeah, dude, it's so funny when parents always do that. They're like,
Yeah.
nope.
And then
No,
now,
you
like,
don't.
I try looking back. I'm like, there wasn't even a titty.
Yeah.
There
You know,
was.
I mean,
not
you
not
have
in the
to-
virtual sex scene, but literally right
Well,
after.
before moments later when
After,
or
yeah.
before where or after.
It's after.
Sex
Yeah.
happens anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
I
If
mean-
anything, that's the most G-rated sex ever.
So could we talk about how much of shit from the movie actually really happened in real life or parallels? In real
Yes, let's
life?
talk about that. I want to talk
I
about.
love talking about
predictions.
future movies or future setting
Predictions.
movies. Yeah, getting things right.
They're kind of like the Simpsons in this.
Oh wow.
So they one of the first things, like when they show the tablet.
Seashells.
No, the tablet the warden is using,
Right.
that technology was nowhere near.
Mhm.
But now we have tablets and styluses and whatnot.
Right.
That was a prediction.
Right.
Autonomous vehicles. Autonomous vehicles is one.
Right.
We
Self-driving.
have
Yeah.
self-driving, all that shit.
Right.
Physical touch. You know, this like, especially recently, like a lot of people aren't doing like, yeah,
Yes.
it's the distance and whatnot.
That's true.
Uh,
You know
the-
what? The political correctness and
Political correctness,
the
yes.
public shaming, I kind of feel a little bit, you know,
Weird.
because
100%.
you know, what about every time you cuss, you know, you get that little buzzer. It's like Big
control.
Brother, the control,
Yeah.
you know, and hey, you know,
Yeah, they
it's a little-
they nailed that.
they're
for
very
sure.
soft,
They
right?
nailed that for
Gee,
sure.
they're very soft. That's like today's generation, isn't it? I mean,
Did they have
grow
safe
up a
spaces
little
in that movie
more?
too?
Very
I mean,
soft.
they're
They
pretty
did
soft.
actually. They did have a safe space. So they had public access safe spaces like therapy because the whole generation is weak and whatnot. So it's like
That's where that one guy was standing in
he's
the
like,
cone.
I just feel so sad and lonely. And it's like
Yeah.
it's like you're all your friends love you and you share joy feelings with all those around you. Like, get the
joy feelings with all those around you.
Phoenix like, get the
Yeah.
fuck
This,
outta here.
the wording they
Fuck your
have
feelings.
just to be like, you know,
Oh, I love it. I love all those
So
terminologies.
weird.
Yeah.
Be well.
I mean, enhance your calm. I want to say that just to troll on somebody and see
Yeah.
if it'll just piss them
Enhance
off
your
more.
calm.
What
Like,
happens
how
to be your
dare
Bible?
I mean, next girlfriend that I have, and if we get in a fight, I'm sorry. I'm gonna use
more-
that
no more
one.
shut-ups?
Enhance your calm. You know? You're acting a little crazy. Enhance your calm.
Well,
You know, let's go back to the nude woman, the one that accidentally calls him, right?
yeah.
Isn't that basically sexting now or video
Yes.
chatting now? I mean, like, you know, you
Yeah.
drop nudie shots and everything.
Yeah.
So
Actually,
that's the norm.
there's a whole nother thing there. So I mean, they also predicted FaceTime.
Oh,
yeah.
oh.
Yeah,
I
FaceTime.
mean, well,
Wait.
granted, a lot of sci-fi had some
they
sort
have
of
that,
visual
for sure.
FaceTime.
For sure.
Blade
You know,
Runner had
I mean,
that.
Back to the Future too. You know,
I guess that's fair.
you
Blade
know,
Runner had that. That came
I
out
guess
in
that's fair.
'82.
yeah, but
We'll give it to Blade Runner.
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, common theme or not, they still got it right. So good for them. But
Yeah.
It was interesting to always see how FaceTime would work, like how older movies predicted how the future technology would be, and like FaceTime was always kind of a thing. It was interesting to see how it always.
But Demolition
Yeah.
Man got it right because it was immediately utilized for sexual purposes.
Yes.
Just like every great
100%.
technology
Yeah.
ever created.
Did you
Like,
did you know
Can
after
I fuck it?
yeah,
Or can
I
I
was going
get
to say that.
fuck-
Like, I get the technology.
you
but can
know-
I fuck it?
This is an old piece of information. 2 years after the battery was invented,
Someone fucked it.
no, they
Oh.
made battery powered dildos, vibrators.
I mean,
In the 1800s?
Yeah, no, not in 1800s, like the early 1900s.
Okay.
Yeah, around there.
Yeah, around
Give us another piece of information, Manny.
Let's see. Another piece of information. Well, one that you guys all know. Jack Black's first appearance was inside of Demolition Man.
He's one of the
he's
villains.
One of the villains that's, you know, that
Yeah.
actually
I remember
goes
seeing
and
it.
does the whole thing.
I remember
So
seeing
he's
it, and
an
I was
extra.
like, I saw it after I knew who Jack Black was. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
I know that guy.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, Jack Black was definitely an extra there, which I think that's how he got his start. And
Well, for sure that's how he got his start.
Typically, that's how you get started. Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
know because he was doing music too.
He probably, well, yeah, because he had the band with Kyle Gass. They've had that band forever, the Tenacious
Yeah.
D band. it only blew up, I think, in like the late 90s, 2000s blew up.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
You tell one. I've been telling stuff. You tell one.
I got one that's for the future.
Sure.
So,
Another reboot.
not a reboot. So Sylvester Stallone was answering a bunch of questions on like his like little personal like Instagram thing, and he basically leaked that we're gonna get a Demolition Man 2. It's actually in production now. And this was actually this was during lockdown. So I mean, it was probably in production then got put off. But I mean, we're probably gonna get it in the next 2 years.
Year. Yeah, 2 years at least.
To be honest, I have no idea what the storyline would be.
You know, as long as they continue the tongue-in-cheek humor, I think that's what I honestly loved most about Demolition Man. Is just like, yeah, it's a typical Stallone 90s action movie.
Right.
It's gonna be
But
hard to do that though, because the
all
dialogue
the
is so
comedy.
different now though.
Is it though?
I feel
mean,
like the dialogue
well,
for action movies is way different.
Wouldn't
now.
it just matter depending on what the timeline set on the movie itself? Like, because
Yeah,
if
but I
it's supposed to be like right after what
But we're talking about the writers though, right? That's what's the important part, and the writers are not going to know how to write that 90s style like
I mean,
one-liners. you know?
if this movie really kind of
you make it seem like it's a lost art, bro. It's not.
kind of is. Then they don't write any movies like that anymore.
if this movie is like kind of predicted like what we are at right now in our future, considering our current timeline, do we really want a second one? Because it's just going to get a lot worse.
I don't know.
We don't know, dude. I mean, let's see what's.
Well, the thing is though, like
let's see this movie and
it's still
see
not
what
gonna-
it has in store for us in the
it's
future.
not going to
you
take
know what I
away
mean?
from the
It's-
first one. The first one's still great.
Yeah, the
I'm
first.
not saying that. I'm saying like what sort of eerie fucking coincidence or technology like advancements would the second film predict?
Oh well, I mean, you watched The Simpsons, and then there was an episode where Kobe Bryant died on the freaking helicopter in The Simpsons.
Because there's a fucking time traveler writer in The Simpsons.
I'm
We
just-
all know that.
But do you still watch The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Well, then there you go.
But that's different.
I just made a good point. And it's,
That's different.
I can't be a part of these kind of debates.
another interesting thing was Sylvester Stallone got thought out into the future. They predicted that. Well, they didn't predict, but his daughter is supposed to be older than him at that time, and they were going to write her in as part of being the Force, being part of the Force and everything like that. So
I thought they were writing
she
her in
was-
as a scrap.
No, they were gonna write her in as that she joined the police force, and then they were gonna have that meeting later on, but they didn't know how to write it in without it being like a
Forced,
sob
like Old
story
Boy?
or
You know, that would
whatever,
totally ruin the
would've
story.
changed-
I'm
would've
getting
changed.
Old Boy vibes off of that. Like
Yeah.
It
that's
would've changed
he
the
has
story.
virtual sex with his daughter.
Yeah, there was a theory on that Huxley was his daughter.
Yeah,
Very
there
old
was
boy.
a theory that Huxley was.
It's very old
daughter,
boy.
but
Yeah, they're
that
overdoing
wasn't
it.
the case at
Yeah.
all. But they were gonna write his daughter in as that part as an officer because she wanted to follow her father's footsteps because of the name and what he's done and everything like that. But
Right.
they couldn't get the proper idea of how to do it without it being like too
Without it
emotional
disrupting
and
the
stuff.
whole
Yeah, just
action movie. Yeah,
without
It
fucking up
doesn't.
the movie. So
It doesn't need it.
it doesn't need it.
so yeah,
That's
so,
why when she's like, I could look it up for you. He's like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, trim
yeah.
the fat.
So
Yeah.
the mystery of his daughter right now still holds up. Nobody knows.
I'm tired of all these goddamn sequels having some sort of like new kid to introduce. Like all the last couple Die Hard movies, he has some daughter or some son he has to introduce into.
be
it.
fair,
daughter.
Mary
As soon as he's
Elizabeth
gonna bring his
Winstead is
dog
actually
out.
pretty hot.
Yeah, but
Just saying.
it's like watching a Michael Bay movie. Every chick in there is hot.
Oh, I thought you said every chick was an explosion. It's a Michael Bay movie.
Every hot chick explodes.
Every hot chick explodes.
Demolition Man 2.
Yeah.
I don't know about Demolition Man 2. I mean, I'll watch it. I mean, I don't think it's gonna hold up to the first one.
I think I talked to you guys about my fears before when we went to go watch Top Gun.
Sharks? Oh,
That too. But when it comes to movies, like creating a fucking sequel 20, 30 fucking years later, how often does that hold up? Top Gun 2 was the only fucking thing I can actually think
and that
of.
was that's our one, right? That's our
no,
one.
Top Gun 2 is Star Wars New Hope. It's just a trench run.
But it's actually pretty badass.
I loved it.
Yeah, fair enough.
But
It is,
core down to the roots is just a trench run.
it's a trench run for
It's a
sure.
trench run.
True.
So,
But it wasn't a carbon copy of the first movie.
Not
I mean, that's
necessarily.
good.
oh no,
Yeah.
Yeah, it had a.
It had its moments and its
Yeah.
little twists here and there.
Yeah.
That's what I liked about it. That's
Yeah.
why it worked. But
Well,
now, like, I don't know how
Paid
Demolition
homage to the first movie, gave it a little bit there. That's great.
especially the
It
beginning.
was kind of its
That one.
own thing.
Called that one.
Anything else for Demolition Man?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
When Wesley Snipes went into the museum to get a gun.
What's a gun?
Exactly. So when he went into the museum to get a gun, if you pay attention in the background, there's actually all these photos of like fires and a riot of a city and everything like that. Those are actual photos of the 92 riot in Los Angeles.
I remember that shit.
And
I
if you
remember that.
remember above the photos, there's a sign on top. And I can't remember what the sign says.
Fuck the police.
I think it was like something of archives or whatever it is, but it's the lettering is actually made from the game Diablo. So
Really?
Yeah, from the game Diablo. So they used the lettering from the game Diablo and they wrote it on top of that. So and that's what they used for that.
That's
I
interesting.
thought that was actually cool that they used the game
Huh.
like that.
I wonder how much they paid Blizzard for that.
I have no idea.
That's interesting.
Same thing with the 3 Seashells. That actually came from a video game first, and then they put it into the
Seashells?
The 3 Seashells.
Do you know how they work?
So the idea of the 3 Seashells of how they work, you're actually supposed to use 2, and it's almost like a chopstick ordeal, is what they're saying. That you're supposed to go and you're supposed to go and scoop or whatever, and then you're supposed to use the third one, and then you use the third one to like flush the.
I'm kind of
excess
offended
down
you
the
would say
toilet.
chopstick. I didn't know chopstick.
That's exactly how they described it.
I don't know, bro. I'm gonna.
That's how they described it. That's exactly what they described it as. It's not my choice of words.
I don't know.
That is
I
what
need
how
source.
you just said it, though.
I need
Did-
source.
Hey,
We have
This is
video.
just-
We have camera video proof.
absolutely. These were not my choice of words.
What
These
the
is
fuck?
what
Well,
the
you could've
information
said
that I
that.
got
Okay.
is what
Yeah.
they gave.
They weren't your choice of words, but you could have chose other words
Hey,
to say.
okay.
here.
So
They
you
said
know what though?
Use them as castanets, and then you fucking pinch them off that way.
No. You know what? Maybe we don't have 3 Seashells, but we do have electronic bidets now
we do.
We
Yeah.
do have electronic bidets.
with
that's for
warm up
sure.
seats and shit. So it's like, hey, they weren't far off that.
Yeah.
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 I think
I
just
get so confused when you like look in a house and it has a bidet. I'm like, which one do I shit in?
yeah. Or isn't it awkward if there's just a little bit of shit on the little water spout of a bidet? Like, I don't know if you
David's
guys ever
been in
used
there.
one.
I've never used one before, dude. I don't know how those things work.
Yeah, I mean,
Someone said water up my asshole. I'm like, I'll just shower. Thank you.
I'm a little disappointed with some of the weaponry here. I want to go back to the
Oh
weaponry.
yeah. Okay.
So he goes to the museum to get a gun, right? So he gets like a handgun, and then he's like, "This is the future. Where are the phaser guns?" And he gets. They only have the one phaser gun. You tell me in the whole time frame they didn't have anything else other than the one laser gun, and it also took a ridiculous amount of time to charge. Why would it take so long to charge one shot?
I'm assuming this is a rhetorical question because there's really no build up to it. Like,
Really,
No.
I have
Yeah.
no idea.
I just want to know
I-
if you had any answers to that, because like, why the fuck? Why would it need to charge so long? Why wouldn't it
Well-
have its own? Because it technically has its own power source.
Sure. It has its own power source, but you got to remember at that time they weren't really trying to build any more weapons. They had the Halos, and that's at most that they wanted to freaking go for as much as because they haven't had
Talking
a
about the
crime.
glow rods,
The rods, yeah. At first they were going to call them the Halos,
but those are way later though. It's not like they had those at the
they
same
didn't
time.
have no. But I mean, you don't know how earlier did have.
I
them.
guess fair enough. I don't know.
You know what
I don't
I
know the
mean?
exact time frame. So,
Like you said, the last crime they had was in 2010.
but that was the last time there was a recorded murder.
Exactly, and everything's been so low since then. Who knows what kind of things they were getting into? They probably didn't care about, advancing on their weaponry or anything like that
Okay.
because they were
All right.
so.
I just
absent.
I was wondering if you knew anything else about the
No,
weaponry.
I don't know anything else about the weaponry. But
Let's talk about the authoritarian dictator,
Okay.
You're talking about
Dr.
Cocteau?
Uh-huh.
So he sculpted an entire society in his image. He basically brainwashed a whole society. We don't know whether or not that exceeds San Angeles, but it's definitely San Angeles is under lockdown.
It's Ryan
Right.
Seacrest.
It's,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
him in the future.
it's completely locked down. Do you have any idea how he came? Because the thing is, there's not a lot of story in the movie, at least, on how Cocteau came into power.
Yeah.
He's all of a sudden he's like, you weren't there for the times, there's nothing
In the before
in the
four times.
movie that tells you that like this is how he took his chance and rose to power and then changed the whole society.
Yes.
Do you know anything about that?
I actually know a little bit about it, not a lot about it. So the beginning of the thing was people wanted information on what to do, and people kept going to, him for whatever reason. I don't remember what his role was back then. They didn't specify that, but after a while, it started to be like a cult following, and it got so advanced that it was huge, that it made an entire city of this cult following, and everybody was just brainwashed towards it. And anybody that ever answered to anybody's problems had to actually go straight either to him or somebody to go to him, and they would tell them what to do in response. But everybody was so fucking brainwashed. As in, you saw the person that went up to the machine talking his feelings and having a machine tell him how he feels and everything like that. You know what I mean?
Feel like short circuit.
So the whole idea of it was, it started out as a cult following, and it just blew up this way. That's why everybody is so just arrogant in the way they are. It just everything's
Entitled?
so.
They're not really. I wouldn't say.
La-di-da,
I wouldn't say.
peaceful,
I wouldn't
all
say
harmony.
arrogant, but they're definitely science based.
I guess, yeah, sure.
They're definitely science based,
But that was the
not necessarily faith based.
yeah.
oh shit, sorry.
But that was the idea of how that actually existed, because there's no telling not what goes outside of San Angeles. But I mean, in there, that
was
exactly
one of
what
my
it is.
biggest questions was how far is the reach? Is it only San Angeles, and the rest of the world is like a decrepit wasteland? Like
Don't know.
no idea, right?
No
They
idea.
don't elaborate on that at all, like the expanded.
Zero.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
there are some people that have theories, but I mean, there's nothing really that holds
A
up.
film theory.
A film
Please don't search for
theory.
that.
Yeah. There you go. You're welcome, Matt Pat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk more action. Your favorite action sequence out of this whole movie.
My favorite action sequence out of this whole movie.
Yeah.
Oh, goddamn. That's crazy, because I really do like the fight scene where they fall through the glass and they're fighting in like where the liquor store is, the taxi.
Okay, so one at the
and
museum.
everything. Yeah, the one at the museum.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I actually really do like that one. I mean, this guy picks up a TV and fucking whacks Wesley Snipes.
He's like, "You're on TV.
You're on TV." Boom, and hits him just like that and everything.
Did you tell him to chill out? No.
I love
I really do
Shame.
like that scene. Though.
See, that's the thing is, I love the little quips are the best. He's like, I should have killed you. He's like, you didn't say Simon Says, and he fucking puts the glow rod into the water.
But yeah,
They don't write
I mean,
dialogue like that anymore.
there was a lot of action scenes that I really enjoyed, but that one, I really enjoyed a lot. I thought that was actually pretty cool that he did that one.
I think I'm gonna go with the final sequence,
The final sequence,
Yeah,
the
'cause
one
it's
at the
the one at the cryo
cryo
prison.
lab or whatever.
Yeah, the one at the cryo prison. Just because there's a lot of actual like hand to hand combat in that one sequence, but there are some dumb parts. So I mean, there's Simon Phoenix takes the basically a giant claw machine, and he fucking grabs he grabs Spartan, and he lifts him over the air, and then he just starts shooting at him with like an Uzi. It's like, and then he's missing.
Crush the shit out of him.
And then he's missing. So it's like, how is he missing?
That was a
from
bad idea.
How is he missing from point blank range with a fully automatic weapon?
Couldn't keep that recoil down, man.
I guess.
Like apparently not. Apparently not.
There's some dumb cheesy things like that happen in action movies, right? I mean, but the rest of the sequence is really fun, because they enter. I like when they finally have like a one-on-one hand-to-hand, and then you hear the cryo chamber. It's like entering the final stage, but they're talking about the cryostasis.
Right.
It's like a fun little hint there that like this is the final boss fight.
I think it's movies like this is like a lot of people don't really understand. Like, back in the 80s and even they're into the early 90s, like when you watch films like that, like the action films, you could almost like smell the cocaine coming off of the fucking film. And, like how it was written and directed. It's like, holy shit. Like,
I can smell the
I
coke
need
on the
more
script.
action. Smell the cocaine. Whoa. That's why everything's so weird and like, it's just, but
For
we
some
loved
reason, Randy Savage is there.
I got you for 3 minutes. I can't do that fucking thing without coughing, dude.
What about you, Daniel?
Talking about what George was talking about, the final sequence for me, takeaway I had from this movie when I was young was the props for the gore, where he stabs out the doctor's eye and uses that to get the scan.
Yeah.
Or the very end when he's frozen and they crash into his body and you see like, you know, the blue icy shell of his skin, but the fleshy red
Yeah.
of the
Heads
tissue
up.
inside.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, to me, that's what always caught my attention. So that type of shit, especially when I was young and I'm not supposed to be watching a movie like this, I still got to see gore, you know, and yeah.
I think there wasn't really any escape for us, like growing up around that time. Like that, those were the kind of movies that were being pumped out. And it's like, okay, what are we gonna watch? This or a fucking Disney movie?
I mean, they pumped out a Disney movie every year too at that time. And
did.
Yeah, but still, I mean,
it was yeah.
preferred action always.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
100%. I mean, fuck. I mean, clearly this movie is going to, I feel like the first one is definitely going to stand the test of time. It's a fun watch, no matter what era. Because it's clearly a 90s movie,
Right.
but it's so much fun to watch. There's a lot of action, a lot of comedy. The story's not bad. I wouldn't say it's like A+ material, but it's not bad.
I mean, there's a universe there that
There's
they
a
can
whole-
definitely mess
That they
with.
can definitely mess with.
But I mean, this original movie is just that. It was just a movie that Hollywood was shitting out, and they tried to put a couple video games out with it, a couple comic books.
Yeah.
You know,
There was toys too.
Yeah, there
there
were
were toys. They did the
also.
whole '90s, you know,
Yeah.
merchandise.
The whole
stuff.
shebang.
Yeah, the whole shebang.
There's money to be made. Why not?
So
And that was a cool way to make money back then too, because we were like buy the toys, get the comics and everything. That was always cool shit to get, you know.
I
Oh,
always thought, even then, that it was ironic that they would be making children's toys based on movies that children are not allowed to watch.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It is
yeah,
kind of
right?
ironic,
You
right?
know? But those were the favorite toys I always had, like
Right.
my Aliens and Predator toys. And shit, you know,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I don't know the movie as
I
a
have no
reference.
idea what you
but
do.
Yay!
But yeah.
Talk to this
Oh, there's
guy.
the bull
When I was a
alien.
kid,
That must
I
be
played
real.
Alien and Predator, and they were fighting. I made Alien versus Predator.
I mean, yeah.
It's probably better than the movie too.
You know what I mean?
One was like a Terminator 2 action figure. Like there was a button and it popped open his fucking chest and it revealed the T-800 exoskeleton.
I remember
Nice.
those. Yeah.
I think it's safe to say we kind of all enjoyed this movie. So I mean, what do you say we jump onto the rating now? Unless you have the budget for us. Do you have a budget for
I
this?
do have the budget for you. So, like always, I'm going to give you guys a guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we'll start it off with David Raby. Give me your guess, sir.
30 mil?
30. All right.
Jeez. I wouldn't have said past 10.
Really?
Yeah. 10 mil.
10. 10 mil from Daniel.
56.
Whoa.
6.
Why don't you just say 31 and just fucking Price is Right David's ass?
He gets mad whenever I do that.
Yeah.
No.
Who
He
did,
did
the
that
prices?
once. He did that. He did that.
Somebody
I
did
did
the
that.
Price is Right one.
I
Was
did
it you
that.
that
Yeah,
You did that
that's
too?
why.
He did
Well,
that too?
I did it to literally
Yeah.
David,
Yeah, I did
literally
that.
1,000 over.
Yeah. I did that to Prey.
So the budget for the movie, guys, went from 47 million
Oh,
to
shit.
$77 million.
Damn, really? Damn.
Yeah.
77 million?
It's up to 77.
Jesus.
That's a lot.
Yeah. It went from 47 to 77 million.
How do you just ask the producers for 30 million?
it's
for
just-
double the amount that they've already given
I
you,
don't
you
know, dude.
It's
I
okay,
mean,
I know.
I didn't.
We
fo-
settled on this.
I didn't
I
follow
need
up.
30 more million.
You
I didn't-
just have
I
to
didn't-
say yes to whatever number that they'll first give you and then ask for more after. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, I
But,
didn't follow up with.
I guess that's true because
all
they're already
the information
invested, right?
behind
They're like,
it?
get
Yeah.
it done.
Just get the yes first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just get him high off cocaine and then ask and be like, yeah.
Anything you say, brother. Anything you say.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. It's
I
fine.
got you.
All right. So who wants to take a guess on the box office?
I'm going to go 150.
150 million.
Yeah.
All right.
For the whole life, right? So
I'm going to go 60 mil.
Are you saying
60
box
million.
office?
Box office.
you think it made less than the movie was?
I think
George
it
is
might.
right. It's about 151.
Yeah?
I'll say 151. I'll Price is Right your ass.
That's cool.
There you go. Let's do that then.
Did he win? He won. Yeah.
Oh, 151?
156.
Oh,
I remember reading
shit.
something about that.
Oh, he
Nice.
fucking knew the answer. See?
So 156 million.
I think that's pretty good considering he had two movies that came out in the same year. He did Demolition Man and Cliffhanger came out at the same time.
Yep. He did. this movie was such a success for all of them. It put them off to do even other greater movies because of how this movie was successful. So it's actually really cool. Another fun fact, that scene where he gets frozen in the ice, it's an actual wax dummy. It looks super freaking real, and they made many of those. There's one hanging up.
You sure it's wax?
It's wax. They said it was a wax figure of him.
Okay.
And Sylvester Stallone wanted the wax figure to be as close as possible to his body, so he wanted it ripped, but he also wanted the genital area a little bit bigger for some reason. Don't know why, but he threw in
the Italian stallion.
the
Remember
Italian
that one,
stallion, I guess. You know what I mean? So they didn't want to shy him
not?
or anything like
Yeah.
that. So, but that
You see his nuts in the beginning.
you do see nut and shaft. But there's still a block and a wax piece still hanging. I believe it's in L.A. of Sylvester Stallone.
In L.A.?
I think it's in L.A.
You guys remember the
I couldn't remember
that one
specifically.
Hollywood Planet Hollywood restaurant?
Hollywood.
They used to have a replica of that in each one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just kind of the norm because
They made like 6 of them, I believe.
I thought it was a silicone thing that they fucking put, but I guess
Oh.
wax would make sense too, make it cheaper.
Well,
so.
That's less
the
expensive.
thing that
yeah.
he's in, I believe, is silicone, but the body that is
that
wax.
wouldn't
least-
make sense for the.
Yeah,
thing
there's
to
no
be
way
in.
that the
Hell no.
That's what they,
Oh.
It would have to be
That's what
resin.
the
There's
thing
It'd
no
have to be,
telling
way.
yeah,
me.
it'd have to be resin. There's no way it could be silicone.
Yeah.
I just read what I read, man.
2 different types of materials, Manny.
Oh yeah,
If you guys enjoyed our content, please like, comment, subscribe. Tell us in the comments how gay Manny is. Maybe your favorite part of Demolition Man.
sure. Why not? It'd be nice to hear from you.
Yeah. If you want to
Cool.
email us, you can email us at nyec.gse@gmail.com. Hit us up on Facebook, Not Your Everyday Critics, or Instagram at Not Your Everyday Critics. Who figured, right?
Who figured?
Go figure. Hope you guys enjoyed our anniversary episode. It's been fun.
See you guys next time. Yeah.
Doesn't make noise, but
Be well. Be well.
Be well.
be well.